everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Tori Brame. So I am about to hit the 7-year mark on being diagnosed with lupus, and I want to talk about some things that I've learned in that time period. So in that time period, I have gotten pregnant with a kid, gone through an entire lupus pregnancy, given birth to the kid naturally. How? I don't know. Gone through a divorce, moved states, gotten in remission. These are a little bit out of order, but gone through the remission, tried a lot of different medications, watched my little boy grow, and I've always been very open about my lupus diagnosis. You know, it wasn't something that I always mentioned in an interview, but as soon as I got on the job, I would let HR know right away when they're doing that onboarding thing where they're like, who do you want to be your beneficiary? And you're like, who do I like the most? I would let them know then and there that I had a diagnosis of lupus, and at one point it did get really bad and I was bedridden and unable to work. So that is not something that you are required to divulge in any way. However, I always did. Just, I don't know why, but I did. It felt right for me to come forward with that and let everybody know that I did have this lupus diagnosis. So I just want to talk about some things that I learned over the past 7 years. There are more than one right ways of doing things. So some people, veganism is the thing that cured them. Other people, it's like a paleo diet or like a starch-free diet like I did. That is the thing that is just so perfect for them. Some people it's intermittent fasting. Other people have a strong belief in the power of prayer, and they believe that that is what has protected them and kept them in remission all these years. Other people, it was their medication, hands down. Their rheumatologist who held their hand during every step of the process until they found the perfect medication that matched them and it was perfect. Other people, it's the mind-body connection, and once they got rid of their stress, once they were able to come to a place of acceptance and fully embracing every aspect of themselves, their life got better and their chronic illness went into remission. None of these are wrong. None of these are the way that everyone is going to get there. And so that is something that I've seen over and over and over again, is whenever people find out that I have lupus, they want to tell their story, which I love. They want to talk about their autoimmune disease or their symptoms that their doctor said may be lupus, but they haven't gotten a formal diagnosis yet or something like that. Another thing that people want to talk about is when their disease did get really bad and what they did, what they received to get better. And every path is a little bit different. Every single story is a little bit different. And most of them end with success, end with a full remission. Like, I am in remission. Like, if somebody, without knowing my medical history, was to take my blood right now, there would be no indication of lupus. I don't have any chronic lupus symptoms. Occasionally I'll have something that pops up, but I already have really sensitive skin, so every time I get a rash or something, I'm like, is that new detergent that I tried out? And not necessarily linked to lupus specifically. I do have a lot of joint damage that happened during the time that I was really bad, so I do have to be more careful with my joints than the average person, but I don't have ongoing joint damage. It's more joint damage that I just have to deal with now. So whenever somebody says to me like, oh, essential oils cured my cousin or something like that, I'm like, wow, that's so great. And even though I tried all the essential oils and they did nothing for me, like absolutely not, like occasionally one would work. I actually did have this one that worked a lot, but it was something that helped me cope and not something that took the pain away or changed anything about my blood work or symptoms or anything like that. And so I don't doubt their story. And just because it didn't work for me doesn't mean that it didn't work for them or that it isn't going to work for hundreds of other people. So that is something that has just really been impressed on me over the past 7 years, just that everybody has a path to wellness, and it is probably going to look completely different from mine and completely different from yours. Another thing that I just like to remember, whether I'm struggling with depression or, when I was struggling with lupus really badly, is that every 2 years your life looks different. If you look back and just count the odd years or count the even years or however you want to do this, look back, something changes every 2 years, and it has a different feel. The year has a new perspective, a new flavor that comes with it. And so that is something like, if you're in it, if you are having a really tough year, in 2 years it's gonna feel different. And so it's just hanging on to the next thing. And also, if you're in a really beautiful year and everything's going for you, the money's coming in, you're feeling good, the family's happy, all this stuff, and you're like, oh no, everything's gonna change. It is, and that's okay. And that's what moves the story forward. That is what fills our life with all the different things that we're supposed to experience in this lifetime. And so that's something that I've just come back to over and over again, is that whatever I'm going through, whatever I'm experiencing is not forever. And in 2 years, life is going to be different. Another one is that this is specifically talking about medication versus no medication, or curing something naturally versus with pharmaceuticals, or even supplements versus no supplements, like all this stuff. There's a risk to everything. If you take a medication that your doctor prescribed and it has a list of side effects, those are risk factors that might play out for you as you take this medication. There's also a risk in not taking the medication, because if you do have a disease that is slowly causing damage, that is slowly eating away at you, and you don't take that medication to stall out that illness, there is a chance that you could get a lot worse. So even though you're like, ooh, scary side effects, I don't know about that, it might be the type of thing where that's the lesser of evils. Also, your quality of life is so important. So if you take a medication and you're like, that's gonna shorten my life, I don't know about that, think about the quality of life you have now. This was a big point for me when I decided to take Benlysta, because it is one of those medications where they're just like, side effects are cancer, death, suicidal ideation, all these things. But I couldn't walk. My jaw was like glued shut so many days because there was so much joint inflammation just in my jaw. I was in extreme pain. I wasn't kind to the people in my life because I had no reserve of energy. All of my energy was going into just breathing, just making it through the day. So my quality of life, terrible, absolutely terrible. And so when I decided to take this medication, it really came down to, do I want 20 more years of agonizing pain and misery? Or do I want the potential of 10 more years where I can pick up my son with no pain, where I can be kind to the people in my life, where I can wake up and be excited about the day? And so that was why I did it. Another thing is like, and so even with supplements, this is something, this is a pet peeve, sorry y'all, I'm gonna talk about this. So when people take supplements, like over-the-counter things, and they think because they can get it on Amazon, they are harmless. That is not true. That is definitely not true. Tell your doctor about every supplement you're on. Make sure that there is no interaction with other supplements that you're taking or other medications that you're taking that might be prescription. I'm speaking from experience. When somebody told me to take an all-natural supplement that I could order very easily online, and I took it even as it was directed, my blood went crazy. Like, they thought I was headed towards liver failure. They thought that I had Graves' disease because I was in a thyroid storm. These are things that I could purchase very easily and moderately cheaply off the internet, and then they were shipped to my home and I was taking them. So just because something comes in a cute little box with a tree on it and it looks so friendly and the people are like, this changed my life, there is a risk to it. So make sure you weigh the risks before you take anything. Make sure you know the risks before you take anything. Pharmaceutical drugs are not for everybody. You might be one of those people that gets every single side effect every single time. So one thing about me is if it has headache as a side effect, I will get it. If it has stomach issues or maybe lightheadedness or dizziness or something like that, I'm probably not going to get those side effects. But if headache is ever a side effect, I'm going to get it for probably 2 weeks while my body adjusts to it. That is something I know about myself. I'm walking into every new medication knowing this, and you know, it's just information that I have. Over the past 7 years, I have talked to hundreds of people about what they're going through, and there's so much fear that comes with getting a new diagnosis, having something that nobody has been able to put a name to yet, having a name but not a medication that fits you yet, and you're going through them. And it's like a Rolodex of medications, and they're just like, oh, no, that one didn't work. Let's try the next one. For you kids out there, a Rolodex is like this thing. Here, the Rolodex. Watch Mad Men. It's on Mad Men. But you're going through thing after thing after thing, and nothing is helping. It's scary. It's not gonna last forever. Listen to different people's perspectives, hear what people have to say, try the essential oils. Try them, they might work. So if this is you right now, I'm so sorry you're going through all of this. I have full faith that you will feel better again someday. Don't lose hope, you're gonna get there, and I'll talk to you guys next time. See ya.